So you are here because you are a high performer wanting to move on from outgrown habits and routines because you are now ready to live aligned with your life's purpose. I am Helena Dime and I'm a wellness coach, and today I will be talking about living up to the standards of what it means to be yourself. And why is this important? It is extremely important because you are needing to have your energy intact, meaning you really need to feel yourself whole, because all of that energy that is required for you to enjoy the journey towards living aligned with your life's purpose, and also reaching the goals that you are wanting to reach, and having the goals finally when you have reached them, that your goals are going to give you that satisfaction, that emotional satisfaction that you are desiring them to be like once you get there. Here. And so what I plan to do now is just to tell you, share my story, why am I so passionate about this? And then I'll share with you what are the three most common challenges that when you are what I call lacking energy, when you're not living up to the standard of what it means to be yourself. I will share what are the three typical challenges. Then after that, I will also share with you an analogy, a metaphor that is quite funny. But anyway, the reason why I'm going to share it with you is so that it makes this topic even more tangible for yourself, and also making it into that metaphor, that funny metaphor that will paint a funny picture in your mind, so that this whole point that I am wanting to convey here over to you will make so much more sense to you, and then it will become very logic. You will become like, oh yeah, makes sense. so that you will regain back your power, and so that you will feel that you can straighten up, let's say, your back spine, and it will be easier for yourself to show up in your true authentic empowerment, making all the decisions and choices that you will have to make, so that you are having a really good time, having fun while you are doing everything what is required, what is necessary, basically living your life. Having a good time while aspiring your greatest desire, and then living aligned with your purpose. Okay, so that's what we will do in this talk, okay? And so I was studying online marketing, and I was in the middle of a community, basically, who were not interested in leveling up their awareness. So they had no interest for this. I don't believe they had any understanding about it either. And so that was quite hard for me to be surrounded by people who were basically not interested whatsoever. And another thing was that they were also complaining a lot. Why, their lives were challenging, it was difficult. But I didn't see that they were taking any action or wanting or trying to do something to actually go about changing their situation. And so for me, it was just perceived as a lot of complaints without them actually doing anything about it. And so that for me as well was God, it's quite draining and frustrating to be in that frequency and that energy of people who are having those kinds of thought processes. But the problem was actually, obviously, it was mine, because I was there and I was just showing up being this diplomatic version of myself, and being understanding, and just not wanting to make a scene or a deal, or just kind of calming people with their hearers, and just being in that just being kind. But in the middle of all that, I was actually struggling to maintain my energy, because I needed to have a actually quite high level of energy, as well as having a high awareness, having high focus, so that I could get done with the stuff that I was wanting to get done in one day, right? But so I was like really doing a lot, like to protect myself, like protect me from all of those like toxic influences that was all around me and surrounded me from the environment or the community that I was in at the time. But finally, thank God, like the day came when I realized that, OMG, I have had so enough of this that basically, metaphorically speaking, I had a full-blown allergic reaction all over my body. So I was like metaphorically speaking, I was like, had kept up with feeling off for so long time that I couldn't stand another day. And so what that resulted in was basically me painting, again, metaphorically speaking, painting a gigantic, like, no, in front of my forehead. And I was like, nope, I'm not gonna listen to this. I'm not having any more of any of this. Like, seriously, I don't believe in any of this, in the thought process behind the thinking behind, like, that kind of mentality. I was just like, no, you know what? Like, it just makes me feel so weak. It weakens me. It weakens me to not speak up, to not put my foot down, to not speak my truth, to not ask like curious questions, to not stop people. But at the same time, I guess that I'd also reached a point, or like I was in the mindset also, that there is no point for me to even be open and curious and ask like curious questions to bring more awareness onto these people, because I honestly didn't feel that they would be interested in having open ears to listen to what I had to say anyway. And for me, having already by that time, I remember I had a relationship behind me where I was together with a toxic person, and I remember how much I was giving and giving and giving of myself, because that person was a narcissist and he was just really making himself a victim. And at the same time, like, he was the one who was creating all the problems that he had, and he was continuously asking me for help and getting my guidance on how I thought and how I would do things, or how I would guide him to do stuff. And so fully taking advantage of me and just like draining me for all of my energy. And I was sharing so much with him, and he didn't implement one thing about what I was sharing. And it just felt like I was talking to a wall. But that was a time of my life when I still didn't have, let's say, the maturity to understand, like, I never had faced a narcissist in my life, so I didn't even know that those people even existed at that point. So I didn't even know that that was what was going on with me before it was basically too late. But anyway, so I guess that experience kind of led me to in that new experience, being surrounded in that community. Like, there is no point for me to kind of like share my knowledge because I will only be drained, because I don't see these people as kinds of people who are willing to learn or implement. So that's why I didn't share and speak anything. Anyway, so as you can see, it was very like toxic and super draining for me. And of course, I take full ownership, I take full responsibility, and I've learned a lot from this. And so that is basically like one of the things that I really learned, was that I painted this big gigantic no in my forehead of like, you know what, I'm never going to do this again. Like, I'm not going to put up with feeling off and allowing people to show up in whatever way that suits them, or speak in whatever way that suits them around me. Because if I allow that, then what is happening is that I am giving off so much of my own energy. So instead of me spending that energy on harnessing my energy to actually do like, and be who I need to be, because I need to have like that harnessed energy to carry this voice, to carry this translate and to carry this message over to my audience, to the people who are inspired by listening to me, the people who I am meant to serve. Like, I need to harness that energy so that I can convey my message in the way that it needs to be conveyed. Because if I am accepting people to show up and talk and whatever, in whatever way that suits them, whenever it suits them, I will give like my energy will leak. I will give energy away from myself. So it means that I will have less energy to be harnessed. I will become less and less aware. I will become more and more similar to the people who are unconscious and acting unconscious around me. And I will have less conscience. I will be more unconscious myself, and feeling somehow that now I am half asleep and just really having to battle and fight a lot harder only to keep the energy that I do have left, so that I can use that little energy to put into the work that means everything in the whole world to myself, right? And so that is the reason for why I'm sharing this story with you, is basically to share with you like how I learned this lesson. So it's not like something that I just read from a book, or I just like accidentally stumbled across like a quote or something like that. But this is a hard-earned lesson that it really took me some time to open my eyes and to realize that actually I do need to put my foot down. And not only that, but actually the recovery process afterwards as well. It took me a while to even recover from giving so much of, like, involuntarily, but unconsciously giving so much of my energy away to people. And then I had to spend a lot of time even just to recover, to, let's say, recharge my batteries again, so that I became whole and I became fully aware and fully conscious, and then, you know, continuing on my journey, on my voyage, let's say, from being fully aware again. And so that was also a while, like that recovery process too. And I don't wish that for yourself. And that's why now I am sharing this message with you, because I truly believe that this is happening very often, that we are we are accepting to feel off in area of your life which is really important to you. It's like one area of your life that matters a lot to you, you're feeling off, but you're accepting it. So the story that I just shared with you, I was studying, I wanted to bring my message out to the world, extremely important to me, but I was accepting to feel off at the same time. Okay, so when maybe that's not your case, that area, but there is another area that is of similar importance to you. It might be one area, or it might be two areas, or even more than two areas of your life where you are, that's important to you, but you are accepting to feel off. Okay. And so now what I will do is to share with you the three typical challenges that you're facing when you have accepted to feel off instead of choosing to adjust, you know, instead of being aware that, okay, this is actually what's happening. Sometimes it's even hard for us to put the finger on what is really going on. But when we finally understand that, oh God, it's really, now I get what is going on, but then instead of adjusting to keep on being okay with living under circumstances and just being okay and accepting, you are actually choosing to do something about it, and you're adjusting your situation. So I will share with you like three typical challenges that you will feel when you're going through this, not adjusting. Then I'll share with you, what I just told you, like the scenario, the fun one. Okay, so that's what we will do. And then also, like, when you are wanting to learn more upon, like, what I just said, like, sometimes it is actually challenging for us to put the finger on, like, what is really stealing my energy? What is actually making me feel off? Because sometimes, honestly, we have just been living in that scenario or situations in our lives for so long that it's really hard for us to even pinpoint like what is the thing, because I really feel that I am doing everything in my power to move things forward, but I do feel drained. I feel that there is energy that is being drained away from me, but I cannot find where is the crack, like where is the leak. So that's why I have created the tool, Life Purpose Awareness Tool. It's free. So this tool will help you to discover if you are currently having areas of your life where you are feeling off. So to discover them, what areas exactly are them, so that you can go from being accepting, living, feeling off, to putting yourself back into a space of, I am in empowerment. Now I have awareness. I can see where is the leak. Now I also understand that it doesn't need to be like this. I can actually do something about it. So then you're putting yourself back into the power of, I have a choice. So this Life Purpose Awareness Tool, it's a free tool and it's an amazing tool, and it's available in my group. And so what you can do, go to my bio and click on the link, join my group, and then you will find the Life Purpose Awareness Tool, which is free, inside my group, okay? So the 3 challenges that you're facing is that you are accepting to not feel good in an important area of your life. So that's the first challenge. The second one is that you have been accepting to feel off in that important area of your life for a very long time. So that's the second challenge. The third one is that you are hoping that things will change around for you, and without you making any difference in your approach to this challenge. So those are 3 typical challenges that you are facing when you are basically when when you're not living up to the standard of what it really means to be yourself, right? To be whole, basically, to have all of your energy contained within inside of yourself, okay? Okay, so what you can imagine, okay, to make this whole thing even more tangible, okay? So it makes like a visual picture so we can fully understand and grasp this thing, so it becomes digestible for our mind, so that we can actually like see it so clearly in a fun way and go like, yeah, okay, now I get it. I get the picture. Let's do something about it. And so it is that, okay, so imagine yourself that you are an air balloon, okay? So you're an air balloon, and you're filled with air, and you are elevating up on the beautiful sunny sky, right? And the view is amazing, and you can see so far ahead over the horizon, and you can feel life and feel so much enjoyment and excitement, and it feels amazing. And then you realize that one bird has landed on your balloon, and it starts to pick a hole into the balloon. And so your balloon is now starting to lose air, right? And so you have a leakage in the balloon, and it's leaking air. And not only that, but now you actually also become aware that 2 other birds has also sat down on the balloon and also have picked on their own holes in your balloon. And so now the balloon is leaking energy from several places. And now what happens basically is that you're feeling bad because you're losing air, and it doesn't feel good to lose air, right? And so losing air is resembling in this analogy for losing energy, and it doesn't feel good when we're losing energy. Now you're actually starting to be concerned and focus on the stuff that is not working out, and it's like, God damn, like I'm shrinking. I'm actually becoming smaller and smaller, and like because of that, now speaking bad to yourself as well, like, oh my God, how is this going to go? And how could I even allow this thing to happen? And now I need to work twice as hard just to put more, force, life force, let's say, into the balloon, like more heat into the balloon, so that I can rise high, but the more you work, you just realize that you're just shrinking more and more and more. And at this one point, you realize that, oh my God, like I'm half the size of what I used to be. And there's no way that I will reach the height that I wanted or get the stretch that I wanted, the length of my journey. I have no possibilities for that, because from here, it only gonna go one way, and that's down. And so and then at the one point, obviously now you're at on the ground, and now only because you accepted these birds to be picking a hole in the balloon. And so you accepted that. You accepted to feel less than good. You accepted to feel bad. And you accepted them to show up and do whatever they wanted to do, and treat you and treat the balloon in the way however they wanted to do. And now you're at the ground, and now you're needing to spend a lot of time on the ground, and basically to recover, So if this is like yourself, like instead of the balloon, like now you need to recover, because you don't have any more energy left, right? And so that's the work that now you need to be doing, and spending time on the ground, and like making the balloon cover, to stitch it up and to fix it and maintain the whole thing. And then now it's the question, okay, so when you finally get done with that, and you are going to go up into the sky again, it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to face the birds in the same way as you did before? Or are you actually going to adjust this time around? Are you going to fix the problem once and for all, and be like proactive and like, okay, now I've learned, now I know how I want to label what are the birds? Am I going to have this emotional bond to the birds and allow them to live exactly how they are wanting to? I mean, now, like in your life, these are the people who you are surrounding yourself with, right? Am I going to just allow them to speak and say and do whatever they are wanting to do? And me, I'm just going to be so diplomatic and understanding in the whole situation? Or am I actually going to label them, like those kinds of people, with a label, and then from that point just decide for myself that, okay, now I know how I'm going to treat them. And now you have sort of fixed, let's say, the problem once and for all, because now you know how for the future am I going to decide, like, how am I dealing with these people from this point on, right? And so now basically you have adjusted, you have a whole new approach to the problem, which again makes you feel that you put yourself back in responsibility, and now you are the one who is responsible, because finally you are taking responsibility, because you are the one who is responsible for making, let's say, the balloon go the whole journey in the way that you wanted it to go, right? And so basically this is the analogy that I really wanted to share with you, and what it means to live up to the standards of being yourself, right? But you have actually a standard for yourself. Now you are no longer leaking energy. And now you can see with this example how you have been giving so much of your energy away to something that really is just a bird on the balloon, and the bird is not going to help you to achieve any of your dreams or your goals. It's only going to make you leak energy, and once you're at the ground, the bird will just fly off, because what's there for the bird to do then? Nothing, because there is nothing left of you, nothing left of the balloon. And so it's only for you to spend a lot of time to recover, right? And so that's like a really, really high price to pay. And so that is why it is so important for you to realize that you cannot no longer, I mean, obviously it's up to you, but you can no longer afford to have these, have that approach of like, I hope that things will just change one day for myself, and I'm not going to change the approach towards whatever thing that makes me feel off. And so to reclaim that responsibility and to put, let's say, your foot down And sometimes it's not that you're putting your foot down actually for somebody else, because those people are just who they are, right? But you are actually just needing to put your foot down for yourself and decide for yourself that I am no longer available for this. I'm actually putting the foot down for myself because I am tired of the one who I have been leading up to this point, and it's not serving me anymore. It's not serving where I am heading. And it's not serving who I like to be either, because I don't feel good at all when I'm allowing these people to show up like that. So I'm just putting my foot down like this, and then I feel good. My energy is contained. I feel secure. I am now back into responsibility. And now I am more dependable, let's say, on myself to get whatever done, what needs to get done in the way that it needs to get done, because that's also another important aspect too. Like, it's not only that you're needing to get things done, but actually it's very much all about, like, in the way, how are you getting things done, in what way? Because you're actually wanting to feel really, really good with yourself as well. Like, when you are doing whatever it is that you're doing, you're wanting to be contented. You're wanting to be having a high level of awareness in the stuff that you're doing, like having that level of presence, and like, I know what I am doing, and it's like, it just feels so satisfactory when we can put in, let's say, all of our presence into whatever it is that we are doing. It just feels very fulfilling, the things what we are doing when we are fully present, even if it's like in a conversation talking with some people, or if it is like completing a task, right? And so all of that is really thanks to you no longer being available for accepting to feel off in any situation or any relation. So you're putting your foot down for yourself, and basically having that awareness that, I'm not going to leak any more energy, and just saying that it's okay, and accepting the situation for being whatever it is, and continue doing whatever it is that you're doing, and hoping that one day, for some whatever reason, things will change around for you, because it will not. It will always continue to be how it is exactly in this moment, until you are the one who actually become aware, raising your awareness up, and then you are the one who are saying to yourself that, no, I'm actually going to change my approach, and from now on I'm going to show up in a whole different way, because you have adjusted. Okay, so now I'd like you to tell me here in the comments about what was your light bulb moment during this talk. So share that in the comments. I love to see your learning. And then as well, wanting to remind you about my Life's Purpose Awareness tool, which is completely for free, that you'll find in my group, and the link to join my group is in my bio. So the Life Purpose Awareness tool is really all about to discover and put your finger on, like, when you are feeling off in one area of your life, and you're really thinking that, I'm really doing everything what I believe in my power that I can do, but I'm still feeling that I am procrastinating. I feel that I am like a perfectionist. I'm lacking energy. I don't have the level of happiness that I want to have, but I don't really know what basically is it that, what is it that I am, where does my attention need to be, basically, so that I can change things around for myself, and becoming aware on that, and discover when you do have what I like to call outgrown habits and routines, so that you can put yourself back in a space of empowerment, and just realizing for yourself that, like, I have been showing up like this now for a very long time, but now I'm tired of it. Now I want to put an end to that, because I want to have a much higher awareness, and I want to move myself forward with awareness, and with more presence, with me feeling contented, with me feeling whole and good with inside of me being present. And I want to basically move away from my old habits and routines and live aligned with my purpose. And so click on the link in my bio and then join my group, and you will find the Life Purpose Awareness tool in my group, and it's completely for free. So thank you so much for listening, and have a high level of inner well-being. I am Helene Daim.